Good morning, everybody. Silver Busters here, and doing a little update on the silver price. Overnight, it is currently almost 9 in the morning Central Time, and we're looking at silver price up over $30, 30.39, which breaches the COVID high that we set previously in 2020, which is really setting up the price for a challenge to run at I'd say 35. Next was a high level of resistance that it kind of held on to after the spike to 50 or almost 50 back in 2008-11 timeframe in response to the great financial reset or crisis or whatever you want to call it, the 2008 housing crash. And one of the interesting things that I've been seeing here, especially from some of the WallStreetBets people, some of the more stock-focused people, is a lot of, and even on the Reddit itself, on the WallStreetBets Reddit, is this kind of doomsaying, like, oh my god, silver is way too big of a market, we can never do it, the market cap is too high, we'll never, and then here we are, having pushed up the price more than, past a major resistance level, just a couple days really working at this. We've got the price up over $30 an ounce, and nobody thought something like this was even possible. I mean, a few days before, at least they weren't expecting it. They thought it was possible, but they had no idea what would be the catalyst to finally expose these short sellers in the silver market. And that's sort of the point I want to make, is that, yes, GME, GameStop, was an easier target. And you guys chose to target GME because the shorts were 140% of the available float stock of GME. And that made you smart. And silver is like orders of magnitude worse than that, because for every available silver ounce, there are hundreds, literally hundreds of paper contracts out there promising silver delivery when they don't have the silver. You've got a situation that is leveraged up 50 or 100 times more than the GameStop situation was levered up. And I see people all over the place, oh, we can't do it, it's too big of a market, you'll make money for hedge funds. Well, let's go over those pieces. Do you think once the whole GME thing and got started, and the AMC and all the other heavily shorted stocks things got started, that there weren't hedge funds on the other side saying, hey, maybe these kids are in onto something, let's jump in and ride this and make a bunch of money and bail out of it? You're making money for hedge funds right now. Hedge funds are cannibals, okay? They eat each other. There is not, the hedge funds will laugh and gang up on the little guy, but as soon as you're down, they're right back to circling tails trying to eat each other, right? So no matter what you're doing, you are making a rich guy somewhere rich by investing in anything, whether it's going up or going down. There are hedge funds and big bad companies on either side of those trades. But you knew that. You knew that because this is not about, this is not just about making money. This is about showing the criminality in the system, showing that we don't have a fair system. We don't have a free market. When you got to those highs in GME, right, Robinhood closed the doors on you. They said, oh, you're winning? We can't allow that. Here's your position limits. Oh, here's your shutdown orders. We'll let you have one share of that. We'll let you have one share of that. Robinhood was just making money selling your order flow off to fucking Citadel, and that's how they made their money. Do you think Citadel is going to stab itself in the back if they were on the wrong side of the GME trade? No, they're not, so they screwed you. But here you are, cowering in fear. Oh, I don't want to make a hedge fund money, so I can't buy silver. Come on. Silver is going to kill it. It is the ultimate breaking of the system. You're not just striking at a company that probably should be bankrupt anyway. Don't get me wrong. I love GameStop. I have good memories of GameStop. I like video games. I like video game culture. I like anime. All that kind of stuff. I'm on your team, guys. I like fucking GameStop. But you would know, and I know, that long term, GameStop is the next Blockbuster, right? It doesn't have that much future ahead of itself. But the hedge funds got greedy, and they got out ahead of it, and they were ready to dig its grave before it was ready to leave the nursing home, okay? It probably has one more cycle with the PS5 and the new Xbox. I forget what number they call it now, because they stuck disk drives on it. So it's probably not going completely out of business in the next 2 to 4 years, right? But that's what they got greedy, and you guys caught them getting greedy, and you stuck it to them. And that's the way the free market is supposed to work, right? The free market is supposed to be regulate things and keep it at a value that is a fair value, right? And you guys are doing that job. And so I'm not going to talk shit about you if you're buying GME or at what level, and I have a feeling like a lot of these naysayers are people who got in and bought GME at 300, 400, 500 and are freaking out now because they've taken a stock who has a worth of like $2 to $5 per stock, something like that, and they bought it at 300, 400, 500 and they're holding the bag. It's like, listen, you knew there was going to be bag holders when this got started. You said, hey, this is about punishing the big boys, this is about punishing the hedge funds. You know GameStop is not worth $500 an ounce. You knew you were manipulating the system in order to make it happen like that, right? You knew you were going to do that. You know GameStop isn't worth $500. You knew that somebody was going to pay that much for it and they weren't going to be able to get out in time, that it wasn't all going to be hedge funds buying up these stocks at covering their shorts at 500, that there's going to be some guys on the WallStreetBets forums, some little guys that got in at the wrong time or didn't get out early enough and got screwed. And you decided, hey, it's all for the greater good, blah, blah, blah. We're going to expose the criminality. Listen, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. This is about exposing criminality. If you, instead of doing it in some tiny company that has absolutely no long-term relevance to society, we're going to focus on silver, which is connected to the monetary system, which is actually has a tremendous influence on everything you do in your day-to-day life. If your job can pay you in funny money, fiat cash printed from a money printer anytime they want, and the big boys have that money printer, do you think you're ever going to beat them as long as they have the money printer? No, you're not going to be able to beat them. And it doesn't matter how many stimmy checks they send you. You ever see those old cartoons where they're dividing up the food or the money, and the criminal boss is there and the dumb henchmen are there too, right? And it goes, one for you, one for me, one for you, two for me, one for you, three for me, right? That's exactly what happens when the money printer is out there. You're not getting shit. When they pass these stimulus bills, there's always way more in it for the banks, the big corporate interests, the criminals, the politicians, than you're ever going to get your hands on. Now, I'm glad about what you're doing with your stimmy checks and trying to fight back. That's awesome. But the money printer is not the way to the future. The money printer is a lie, okay? That's why we can go all clown world on them with their funny money, because we don't give a shit. We know it's worthless. Silver has real value. Silver and gold have the potential to enforce discipline on these corrupt elites that control the entire system, okay? That's what this is really all about in the long term. I don't really care about what bank I steamroll on the way in. Yeah, there are a few names I would really like to see take it on the chin because of how long they've participated in suppressing the price of silver and running 500 paper contracts for every ounce actually mined and available for delivery. I would love to see some of those go down, but really it's about the government behind them that has allowed all this to go on. None of this happens without government approval from both parties, because both parties have had complete control over this time frame that gold and silver has been suppressed since Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971. Team Democrat and Team Republican, which are all just deep state cronies, jacking each other off in the background. They are the ones that get rich off the money printer. They have the inside connections. They get the contracts. They get the 0% money. You know what? I have pretty good credit, but if I want a credit card, it's still 15.99. It's not as bad as the 29.99 that they try to give you doofuses, or most of you doofuses, and maybe you could get a better credit card than me. I don't know. But the point is, it's not 0% APR, right? Right? You're not getting that sweet Federal Reserve 0% interest rate that the elitists are getting. And if you take down silver is the weak spot of the system. It's a much smaller market than gold. They can't supply enough of it because they're only mining it at a rate of 8-to-1 compared to gold. And if you clear out their meager little existing stocks that they have, the retailers are already saying, oh yeah, you're gonna have to wait 2 weeks because we can't get this stuff in stock. And who says that the next level up, suppliers have a bunch of stock? We ran through this last year during the COVID. We took a bunch of inventory out when they decided to run the price down to 13. And I backed up the truck and I said, yeah, give me some at 13. I will take that all day at 13. And, so they don't have a bunch because they keep trying to push the price down to this stuff. So I'm just saying, yes, we can do this. We can get silver to go to the moon. We can get it to go triple digits. We can get it past its old high of 50. Honestly, if you're listening to people online, they do the math about the number of outstanding contracts, the mining ratios. 600. Easy. 600 is what we're going to get to because we're going to remonetize this stuff. And all the debts, all the funny money that has been printed has to be revalued into something hard and real that we're going to be able to trust, unlike fucking government from either American party or I don't care what country you're in. Honestly, it is corrupt. And the old system, they know it needs to die. That's why they're saying, we're going to have a great reset, and they think they're going to control it and they're going to make the rules. No, thank you. No, thank you. We're going to make the rules. And the rules are we're going to have discipline. And that means money is going to be gold and silver. And that means you're not going to be able to print the money. And if it means me and my buddies want to do business over here, then without you tracking us, then that's what we're going to do too. Sorry to make your corrupt elitist little cabal go under, right? So that's the message I wanted to get across today. Because yeah, the silver market is exciting. It's going to have ups and downs from here. But really, this is the point. You've learned it. You learned it when Robinhood cut you off, that every time you're starting to win, the big boys cut you off and cut you out of their casino, and they won't let you play the game. So you have to go around their game. You have to go around their game and buy silver. And you don't have to buy it from SD Bullion. I was just using it. You could be JM Bullion. It could be Ampex. Honestly, I'd be shopping around to see where I could get the best price. I saw, this isn't even right. One. There we go. And so basically, I don't care where you get it. Just get it somehow, because this is going to be real money. Do it for yourself, especially if you don't have any. Because if we do the math, if everybody in the world tried to go out and buy 1 ounce, or if everybody in America tried to buy 3 or 4 ounces, they wouldn't have anything left. It would be $1,000. They would be completely screwed. And this is directly connected to the monetary system. And this is the way we get to honest money. This is the way we get to where your paycheck actually cashes out in something meaningful instead of money printer goes brr while the elitist guy laughs in the background, right? That's how we get there. We get to an honest society built on meritocracy, hard work, and actual productivity, and we get rid of these fat cats and these criminals by getting to sound money again, getting to something that they can't print at will to buy off people and enrich themselves. That's what this is about. This is a higher moral calling than even fucking over a hedge fund that went too short a game stock that you know long term is the next blockbuster. So that's my message for you today. If you want to try to argue against me in the comments. Give me a logical argument, and I will address you. But this has been my message for today. Buy silver, keep an eye on the markets, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good one.